Hello everyone, welcome you all in our YouTube channel Vaishnavi Nalaude. In today's video lecture, we will discuss about remaining part of our second chapter in pharmacognosy and phytochemistry 2. In that second point, that is endogenous or genetic or internal factors. In first one lecture, we will discuss about exogenous or external factor. In today's video lecture, we will discuss about endogenous or genetic or internal factors. सो एंडोजिनस फॅक्टर म्हणजे काय आहेत किंवा इंटरनल फॅक्टर्स जे की इट इज रेअर टू गेट genetic homogeneity species in nature except in case of highly inbred species. We can speak of genus, species, varieties, subvarieties because of genetic heterogeneity. कल्टिवेशन करत असताना जे काही एक्सटर्नल फॅक्टर्स आहेत तसेच काय आहेत इंटरनल फॅक्टर्स सुद्धा असतात जे की त्याच्या जेनेटिक्स वरती अवलंबून असतात. ओके, सो इट इज रेअर टू गेट जेनेटिक होमोजेनेसिटी स्पेसीज इन नेचर एक्सेप्ट इन केस ऑफ हायली इनब्रीड स्पेसीज. We can speak of genus, species, varieties, subvarieties because of genetic heterogeneity. The difference in genes can bring about variation in morphology, biochemical and amount and type of active principles. जीन्स मध्ये पण डिफरन्स आहे अकॉर्डिंग टू मॉर्फोलॉजी बायोकेमिकल अँड अमाउंट ऑफ टाइप ऑफ एक्टिव प्रिन्सिपल्स. Okay, then whenever such a biochemical variation takes place, each particular type is called as physiological variety. The very good example being sweet and bitter almond. The almond has same morphological characters but different in active principle. आल्मंड मध्ये दोन व्हरायटी आहेत, स्वीट आणि बिटर आल्मंड. पण त्याच्यामध्ये कशामुळे ते डिफरंट आहेत? बिकॉज ऑफ देअर ॲक्टिव्ह प्रिन्सिपल्स. ओके, द मॉर्फोलॉजिकल डिफरन्स इन ड्रग्स कॅन बी सीन इन कॅम्फर, स्क्विलमध्ये रेड अँड व्हाईट, राउल्फिया अँड अदर प्लांट्स. ओके, these are the examples of different morphological or active principles. Okay, then in that first factors it is selection. First one factor आहे selection. In that the plants will be genetically heterogeneous to some extent. The genetic difference exists normally from individual to individual. If the plants of desirable characteristics are interbred, a derived second population show improvement with regard to particular quality. The continued breeding may result in greater improvement with regard to quality. Earlier work of breeding was restricted to produce optimal growth and high quality strains of plants. The selective breeding of plants has resulted in plants with increased consistency with respect to quality, increased growth, resistance to disease, winter hardiness, and other desirable characteristics. The selection work on Cinchona ledgeriana has yielded plants with 15%. Okay, in selection part, the plants will be genetically heterogeneous to some extent. The genetic difference exists normally from individual to individual. If the plants of desirable characteristics are interbred, a derived second population show improvement with regard to particular quality. The continued breeding may result in greater improvement with the regard to quality. Earlier work of breeding was restricted to produce optimal growth and high quality strains of plants. The selective breeding of plants has resulted in plants with increased consistency with respect to quality, increased growth, resistance to disease, winter hardiness, and other desirable characteristics. The selection work on Cinchona ledgeriana has yielded plants with 15%. These are selection factor. In endogenous factor, then mutation. In mutation, sudden change in genotype causing qualitative or quantitative alteration of genetic material called mutation, or sudden heritable change in the structure of a gene or chromosomes, or change the chromosome number. Mutation can be artificially produced by certain agents called mutagens or mutagenic agent. म्युटेशन म्हणजे काय आहे तर सडन चेंज इन जीनोटाइप causing qualitative or quantitative alteration of genetic material called mutation, or sudden heritable change in the structure of a gene or chromosome, or change the chromosome number. Then mutation can be artificially produced by certain agents called mutagens or mutagenic agent. Types of mutagens in that physical mutagens and chemical mutagens. In physical mutagens, ionizing radiations, in that X-rays, gamma radiation and cosmic rays. And second one, it is non-ionizing radiations, in that UV radiation. These are physical mutagens. Okay. Then chemical mutagens मध्ये alkylating agent, in that nitrogen and sulfur mustards. Then acridins मध्ये acridins and proflavins. Then nitrous acid. These are the types of mutagens and their examples. Types of mutagens in that physical mutagen, and second one is chemical mutagens. Mutagens म्हणजे काय तर असे फॅक्टर जे की सडन ॲक्शन घडवून आणतात. ओके, अल्टरेशन करतात. देन नेक्स्ट आहे पॉलिप्लॉइडी. The specific number of chromosomes is a character of each species and is called genome, which is observed in all type of organism. Set of chromosome is equal to genome. If the chromosomes within the nucleus reduplicate with if the chromosome within the nucleus reduplicate with no subsequent division of the cell, the condition is called as polyploidy. The specific number of chromosomes is a character of each species and is called genome, which is observed in all types of organisms. Set of chromosomes is equal to genome. Okay, set of chromosome is equal to genome. Specific number of chromosome is a character of each species. It's called genome and which is observed in all types of organism. Genome म्हणजे काय आहे? Set of chromosome. If the chromosomes within the nucleus reduplicate with no subsequent division of the cell, the condition is called as polyploidy. Then fourth one आहे hybridization. Hybridization मध्ये काय आहे? Hybridization is the process of crossing two genetically different individuals to result in a third individual with a different, often preferred set of traits. Hybridization म्हणजे काय आहे? Hybridization is the process of crossing two genetically different individuals to result in a third individual with a different or often preferred or set of traits. Plants of the same species cross easily and produce fertile progeny. Wide crosses are difficult to make and generally produce sterile progeny because of chromosome pairing difficulties during meiosis. Hybridization of plants occurs in nature through various mechanisms. In that some plants such as the oil palm are insect pollinated and others such as maize or corn are wind pollinated. Such plants are preferred to as cross-pollinated plants. Natural hybridization has played a significant role in producing new genetic combinations and is the norm in cross-pollinated plants. It is a common way of generating genetic variability. The classic example of hybridization is cinchona. Hybrids of Cinchona succirubra and Cinchona ledgeriana yields a bark of 11.2% of alkaloids, while the parent species yielded 3.4% and 5.1% respectively. सिंकोनाच्या 4 स्पेसीज आहेत. सिंकोना बार्क त्याच्यामध्ये काय काय आहेत मी मागच्या लेक्चरमध्ये पण तुम्हाला सांगितलेलं आहे. सिंकोना ससिरुब्रा अँड सिंकोना लेडजेरियाना. ओके, देन सिंकोना कॅलिसाया अँड सिंकोना officinalis. These are the 4 species comes under Cinchona bark. Okay. Then hybridization म्हणजे काय आहे? It is the process of crossing two genetically different individuals to result in a third individual with a different or often preferred or set of traits. Okay. These are the 4 factors comes under exogenous or external or genetic factor. Okay. Then third आहे edaphic factor. Edaphic factor in that soil conditions and soil fertility. The soil is formed by withering of rocks and stones. Soil conditions and soil fertility comes under edaphic factor. The soil is formed by weathering of rocks and stones. Soil is the most important natural resource as it supports growth of all plants. Then soil provide mechanical strength as well as the essential food elements for plant. The capacity of soil to supply plant nutrient quantities and proportion required and to provide suitable medium for plant growth is known as soil fertility. The soil is formed as a result of combined action of climate factors like plants and microorganisms. The soil should contain appropriate amounts of nutrients, organic matter and other elements to ensure optimal medicinal plant growth and quality. Edaphic factors मध्ये काय लक्षात ठेवायचं आहे? सॉइलची कंडिशन आणि सॉइलची फर्टिलिटी. ओके, त्याच्यामध्ये सॉइलचा उपयोग कशासाठी केला जातो हे आपल्याला महत्त्वाचं आहे किंवा त्याच्यामध्ये असलेले इसेन्शियल कंटेंट काय आहेत ते महत्त्वाचे आहेत. ओके, त्याच्या प्लांटची ग्रोथ होण्यासाठी ती सॉइल कशा प्रकारची असली पाहिजे हे सुद्धा आपल्याला लक्षात घेतलं पाहिजे. ओके, दीज आर द 3 factors in that first internal factor, external factor and edaphic factor. Then in edaphic factor optimal soil conditions in that soil type, drainage, moisture content retention, moisture retention, fertility and pH range of 6.5 to 7.5. Then the acidic soils can be limbed or alkaline soils can reclaimed by gypsum. As the optimal soil conditions in that soil type, drainage, moisture retention, fertility and pH range of 6.5 to 7.5. The acidic soils can be limed and or alkaline soils can reclaimed by gypsum. So acidic soils are not suitable for leguminous plants due to poor development of nodule bacteria ॲसिडिक सॉइल आपल्याला लेग्युमिनस प्लांटसाठी उपयोगी नाही. का? तर ड्यू टू पुअर डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ नोड्यूल बॅक्टेरिया. The soil made up of 5 components, in that mineral matter, soil air, soil water, organic matter or humus soil organisms. These are the 4 factors that soil made up of 5 components, in that mineral matter, soil air, soil water, organic matter or humus soil organisms. So the physical character of soil is also important. It refers to the size of soil particle, shape, porosity in that amount of air space. So type of soil, particle size in diameter. The clay soil in that less than 0.002 millimeter. Silt soil in that 0.002 to 0.02 millimeter. Then sandy soil in that 0.02 to 0.2 millimeter, and gravel soil in that more than 0.2 millimeter. These are the particle size according to type of soil, in that clay soil, silt soil, sandy soil and gravel soil. Then fourth one factor, that is biological factors. In that biological factors मध्ये काय येणार आहे तर pests and pest control. In that a pest is an organism that causes on epidemic disease associated with high mortality. A pest is an organism that cause on epidemic disease associated with high mortality. So types of pest, in that the different types of pest infecting medicinal plant, in that fungi and virus, in that insects, flying adult moths, flies and larvae. Crawling, in that beetles, wheels, cockroaches, then rodents, mice, field or house. Then rats, roof or Norway. Then birds, pigeons or crows. Then other mammals, snakes, cats and dogs. These are the fungi and viruses. Then insects, rodents, birds, rats, other mammals, snakes, cats and dogs. These are the pests, and these are the next one point, that is methods of pest control. In that mechanical method of pest control, that is fourth one factor, that is biological factor in that pest and pest control. These are the example of pests and methods including in that is methods of pest control. In that first one method, that is mechanical method. It employs manual labor along with different device for collection and destruction of pest. In that example included, in that hand picking to remove insects, then pruning, burning, and fourth one is trapping of pests. These are the mechanical methods. It employs manual labor along with different devices for collection and destruction of pest. Example, in that hand picking to remove insects, then pruning, burning and trapping of pest in mechanical method. Then second one आहे agricultural methods. It covers advanced plant breeding techniques capable of inducing genetic manipulation resulting in production hybrid varieties which are resistant to fungal and bacterial attack. Another aspect in agriculture control is plowing, which should be sufficiently deep so as to eradicate weeds as well as early stage of insects. In second one, that is agricultural method. In that it covers advanced plant breeding techniques capable of inducing genetic manipulation resulting in production hybrid varieties which are resistant to fungal and bacterial attack. Another aspect in agricultural control is plowing, which should be sufficiently deep so as to eradicate weeds as well as early stages of insects. These are second one method of agriculture. Then third one, that is chemical methods. In that, pests are controlled by using chemical pesticides. In that, insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, rodenticides. These are fourth in chemical methods. Pests are controlled by using these chemical pesticides. In that, insecticides, DDT, Gamaxine, Parathion, Malathion, these are insecticides. Then fungicides, in that Bordeoxy mixture, then chlorophenols and antibiotics. These are comes under fungicides. Then herbicides. Herbicides to control weeds, that is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid and sulfuric acid. Then fourth one is rodenticides, in that warfarin, strychnine and red squill. These are comes under rodenticides. Okay, so chemical methods, pests are controlled by using chemical pesticides. These are four insecticides, fungicides, herbicides and rodenticides. Okay, then fourth one आहे biological control methods. This method is practiced by combating the pest, in that mostly the insects, using other living organisms. If this method is properly designed, it may emerge as an effective, safe and economical method of pest control. The mechanical substance produced and released by some female insects are capable to eliciting reaction, a sexual response from the opposite sex, which could be exploited for biological control of pest called sex pheromones. Example, 7,8-epoxy 2-methyl octadecane from gypsum moth. Okay, these are biological method. In that, this method is practiced by combating the pest, mostly the insects, using other living organisms. If this method is properly designed, it may emerge as an effective, safe and economical method of pest control. The chemical substance produced and released by some female insects are capable to eliciting reaction, a sexual response from the opposite sex, which could be exploited for biological control of pests called sex pheromones. These are the examples. In that, 7,8-epoxy biological control of pest 7,8-epoxy 2-methyl octadecane from gypsum moth. Then fifth one, natural pest control agents. In that, tobacco, Naxomica and neem. These are natural pest control agent. Tobacco, Naxomica and neem. Then sixth one, that is fertilizers. In that, a fertilizer is any material of natural or synthetic origin, in that other than liming materials, that is applied to soils or to plant tissues, usually leaves, to supply one or more plant nutrients essential to the growth of plants. The second mode by some fertilizers act is to enhance the effectiveness of the soil by modifying its water retention and aeration. Fertilizers are either applied to the soil, directly on the plant leaves, or added to aqueous solutions in order to maintain soil fertility, improve crop development, yield and or crop quality. Then biological origin fertilizers, in that manures. So manure is material which are mixed with soil. This supply almost all the nutrients required by the crop plants. Fertilizers जे आपण वापरणार आहोत त्याच्यामध्ये काय असलं पाहिजे? These are material of natural or synthetic origin to supply one or more plant nutrients essential to growth of plant. Then second काय म्हटलं त्यांनी? Biological origin fertilizers, in that manures. So manure is material which are mixed with soil. These supply almost all the nutrients required to the crop plants. Then these results in the increase in crop productivity. So manures are three types. Formed manure, that is FYM, that is cow dung manure or poultry manure. Then composited manure, in that organic nitrogen supplements, bone meal, fish meal. Then third one आहे green manure, in that neem seed cake, vermicompost and oil cake. These are three manures comes under biological origin fertilizers. These results in increase in crop productivity. In that manures are three types. Formed manure, in that FYM, cow dung manure or poultry manure. Then composited manure, in that organic nitrogen supplements, bone meal and fish meal. Then green manure, in that neem seed cake, vermicompost and oil cake. Then biofertilizers. Biofertilizers can be defined as biologically active products, that is bacteria, algae and fungi, which is useful in bringing about soil nutrient enrichment. Example is rhizobium, that is gram negative bacteria, azotobacter. Then major nutrients, in that nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Secondary nutrients मध्ये calcium, magnesium and sulfur. Then micronutrients or trace elements, in that boron, chlorine, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum and zinc. These are 16 elements necessary for plant growth and developments. These are the biofertilizers. Can be defined as biologically active products which is helpful or useful in bringing about soil nutrient or enrichment. Okay, these are the 16 elements necessary for plant growth and developments. Okay, आपण इथे stop करूया. Thank you. Happy learning. Stay safe. If you have not subscribed to my channel, then subscribe first and press the bell icon to get latest updates of upcoming videos. Thank you. Thank you so much.